Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's unseen video. This is where we round up all the talking points from social media, and I would say this was the biggest story slash saga of the day in the wrestling world, and once again, it was Brock Lesnar. So here, look, 14 hours ago, WrestleMania reporting what WrestleVotes had said, which is that WWE are still interested in bringing back Brock Lesnar. Talks potentially ongoing between both parties. Now, it's kind of staggering to me how this kind of non-story here gains so much traction. I mean, if you just sort of break it down, WWE still interested in bringing Brock back. Of course they are. They've always been interested. Brock is big money. He's a big star. He's main evented WrestleMania multiple times. As long as the legal stuff goes away, of course they're interested in bringing him back. So there's not really anything there that I would class as news. Then here, talks potentially ongoing between both parties. So we think talks are happening between both parties. We're not sure. We haven't really heard anything, right? This blew up. This was absolutely everywhere. I would say that this is now one of those stories that just keeps rearing its head, like every few weeks, like a month, at least once a month. I feel like we deal with this. It is kind of the frustrating side of pro wrestling, where we get these nothing stories. And I've got to tell you, man, I think it's either for engagement, because it's a slow news day, so we have to create something out of this. Or someone asks a question, have you heard anything about Brock? And the answer is like, WWE are still interested, is what we've heard. And we think that talks are going on between them. And maybe they just missed out, but nothing changes until this legal situation changes. This is what I put 10 hours ago. I feel like this could have been written at any point since the Royal Rumble. Of course they want him back. Of course they are in communication. I mean, technically, he's still on their roster. I don't know that he's on their active roster, of course, but if you go on to WWE.com, you'll see that Brock Lesnar is still listed amongst the superstars. So they have to be in communication. They have to be telling him what the latest is, if they're thinking of bringing him back anytime soon, if they can bring him back anytime soon. Only once they are satisfied that Brock isn't facing serious legal action can I see this changing. Of course, we don't know if, when that will be the case, because we don't know what's happening with the legal case at the moment. Obviously, it's being investigated by the feds right now. Then we've got the legal stuff with Janelle Grant. Oh, I mean, it's so messy. This is a situation I really don't see changing anytime soon. But you get so many accounts going, oh my god, Brock's on the way back, can you believe it, who should he feud with? And it's just people massively jumping the gun once again. So this is what I put out. As soon as I saw that, I put this out 10 hours ago, right? Then, an hour later, after I'd posted this, Sean said, I would pump the brakes on the Brock Lesnar talk. I've got a story coming to Fightful Select this afternoon. And basically, the story was the internal claim to Fightful Select from WWE and those in creative was that Brock Lesnar's status hasn't changed, and there are not stories being pitched for him. Lesnar has been out of WWE plans since being referenced in the Vince WWE lawsuit. So I've got the article on Fightful Select. There's not really a need to go through it because it's everything that you would imagine. There's no merch that has knowingly been creative. There are no creative plans in place for him. People are saying they don't believe the situation has changed. I know we're spending a long time on this, but you would not believe the amount of people that have got in touch with me today to tell me, am I excited Brock Lesnar's coming back, you know? So I want to make this nice and clear so that people in the back can hear. Until the legal situation changes with Brock Lesnar, And I do admit that we don't know when that is going to change, right? I mean, it could be that all of a sudden Janelle Grant just kind of drops him out of the lawsuit, says, actually, no, he didn't do anything wrong. There's no need for him to be part of this process. And then all of a sudden, he's an innocent man that's free to return, right? But I mean, I feel like it would need to be something like that for him to come back. So this, I know we spent a long time in it. It was the big story today. You can see how it developed. And that's where we are. We're basically where we are, or were, at the start of the day again. I have to put up with this. I have to have this conversation on throughout my day. It's just a massive, giant waste of time. It's the most frustrating thing about the modern world. So much stuff is either miscommunicated, blown out of proportion, interpreted wrong, or is just done for engagement. And honestly, I see so much of it, and it is so annoying. But let's move on to other news, shall we? So here, the ratings are in. NXT doing 639,000. Definitely down. I mean, we were in the 800,000 range. We know that it was going to drop. We know that we were looking, or I was looking, about 650. This is definitely a touch below where I would like it to be. I would like it to be a bit above 639. Obviously, the concern would be if it drops further. I believe they were up against some big baseball game. I mean, it shouldn't make any difference. I still feel like they should be around that 650 range. But, you know, it is what it is. And they're going to be aware of this week's number. We know that next week we've got EO and we've got Kyrie on the show. So, and also next week's going to be the go home for Halloween Havoc. So, yeah, you know, there's definitely some good stuff on the horizon. But, yeah, touch below where I'd like it to be. But not a disaster that I'm seeing some people making it out to be, because we always knew that we would get down to this kind of mid 600,000 range. I think we start talking about disasters if we start going into 500,000s, right? Or we consistently stay in the low 600,000s. Even the low 600,000s, I think, would be accepted. Apparently, CW Network would have been thrilled with 500,000 for the debut. That's what the rumors were saying. There's not really a need for us to go there. I think if we do go into the 500,000s, then I feel like we're definitely in need of tweaking some stuff. So this is okay. Could be stronger, but not the disaster that I'm seeing some people make it out to be. Logan's B, shout out to you. So here's a message from Randy Orton.
Hey, Owens, once I get back to the States, once I get back across the pond, I'm coming for you, and I'm whipping your ass. You got one.
There you go. Once I get back, I'm whipping your ass. You've got one coming. So Randy in no doubt about how he's going to respond to Kevin's actions from Friday. Shay, Cliff, shout out to you. Appreciate it. Here's ACDMMA, Tom Aspinall, the current interim UFC heavyweight champion, in the ring with Gunther and Cody. Someone pointed out that this means that 3 TKO heavyweight world champions were in the ring at the same time. Both of the WWE heavyweight world champions, the top title holders, and the interim UFC heavyweight champion. The only other person really that you could have put in here to add another heavyweight champion would be the UFC heavyweight champion, the guy that's got the actual belt, and that is John Jones. This is just the interim title. It's just the I'm the champ whilst the champ is away. But a lot of people think that Tom Aspinall will go on to be the actual heavyweight champion in UFC. So, yeah, he's a bad man. He's a bad man. He's good on the feet. He's good on the ground. And very excited to see him facing John Jones or Stipe in the future as they try and figure out who the real UFC heavyweight champ should be. So really interesting image there from Manchester tonight. Lexis King responding to this, agree or disagree, Brian Pillman should be in the Hall of Fame. He said, just speaking as Pillman Jr. here for a moment, this is all I ever wanted. My goal from day one in wrestling has always been to bring enough attention to the Pillman name to remind us all of this legendary performer so that he could take his rightful spot in the Hall of Fame. So really hope Brian Pillman goes in, and I think it's very much deserved. Massive name in the history of pro wrestling, and quite a touching message there from Lexis King, Brian Pillman Jr. Another. I think this would annoy me, to be honest. This WrestleVotes Live Q&A, I think, would wind me up a treat. I've just done 6 minutes on how the Brock story wasn't a story. And welcome to part 2 of stories that are not real stories. WWE is totally on board with bringing back AJ Lee. At any point since CM Punk returned, did anyone really think WWE were not interested in AJ Lee? Imagine bringing back CM Punk and then going, nah, not interested in AJ Lee, thanks. From the second Punk signed that contract, and even many seconds before that, WWE have obviously been interested in AJ Lee. This is one of those weird stories where actually the opposite is a bigger story, right? I kind of feel like if the opposite of what you're reporting is the bigger story, then you probably don't have like a great story. If this turned out WWE is not interested in AJ Lee, I think that would be really big news. I would be stunned. But WWE is interested in AJ Lee. This is a story that did the rounds, and people are like talking about and retweeting, and oh god, honestly, it's so frustrating. These quiet news days, so frustrating. So if she picks up the phone and says I'm in, then WWE will say yes. What took so long? Yeah, cool. I feel guilty for wasting your time having to point this out. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's move on to something else. Cody Rhodes has named his top 5 favorite wrestlers, and Hogan is one of them. I would imagine he probably grew up quite a big Hulkamaniac, so it's probably a lot of nostalgia. I mean, I can't imagine he's thrilled with the way that Hogan has conducted himself in recent years. But he's gone with John Cena. Totally understand that. We know that he's got a lot of respect for John. He named his dad. Of course he did. Hogan was the surprise for me. But then again, nostalgia is a very powerful thing. He named Sting, which I thought was really cool. And then he couldn't split Roman and The Rock. He couldn't split these two, so he put them both in at number 5. So I would think a very interesting list. Interesting as well, because no Triple H, no Stone Cold Steve Austin, no Ric Flair, which I thought was quite interesting. No Macho Man Randy Savage, or I don't know, but I love some of these additions. Cena, Sting make total sense. Dusty, of course, was always going to be there. Surprised he didn't mention his brother as well, but you know, again, it is what it is. Maybe if that had been pointed out to him, he would have gone, oh yeah, definitely. You know, I'll put my brother in at 5 rather than these two. I mean, if I'm Dustin Rhodes, I'm probably like, excuse me. Sorry, where am I? Like, so there we go. That is the list came out with. So Spartan, thank you, my friends. Right, let's go back. So we did the top story. We did WWE. I think we've only got fun and other. It has been a very quiet day today. Nia Jax said he's so rude. I'm so skinny too. So here's the ref, look, trying to carry Nia out of the ring. So he's got her, look, in his arms. Crowd are laughing at this point. He's trying to get her, look, he's not really comfortable. He's bending backwards. Down they go. Down they go. So that's Sarah Schreiber, look, just coming around. I don't think she's going to be much help. But yeah, a real struggle there. A real struggle for everyone involved. And Nia said, how rude. I'm so skinny too. So, yeah, I mean, in all fairness, it is the lack of strength from the referee. That's who we blame. Right, must listen. This is so funny. So, JDS, shout out to you.
This is Manchester slang. So these are some of the terms that you might
Here we go.
hear from Mancunians.
Mancunians, out. Do you want out from the shop?
Yeah, I feel like that is a Manchester thing. I feel like it might get used in quite a few places as well, not just Manchester. That is one that I've heard before. Do you want out from the shop? I don't use it. I always say anything. Do you want anything from the shop?
So out's like pretty interchangeable, right?
Do you want anything? It's anything.
Do you want out from the shop?
Out.
I like it. I like it. Nout. There's nout better than watching Manchester City.
Again, used a lot in that area. Nout. Nothing. There's I went to the shop to get some bread, but there was nout. Like there's nout better than watching Man City. Nothing. Yeah. Another one that I've heard.
Meaning nothing. So using it in a sense, there's nothing better than watching Manchester City.
There was nout I wanted. Went to the car boot, but there was nout.
Chuffy? Chuffy badge.
I've never heard this. I've never heard Chuffy badge. Honestly, I was like, what the hell is this? Even I was waiting to find out what this was.
I've cleaned up that drink I spilled. So what? Do you want a Chuffy badge or summit? The Manc meaning is that is a metaphorical, invisible badge for doing something minor. Oh, I'm a big Chuffy badge. I don't do anything without like expecting something in return. So
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, isn't it? So, do you want a Chuffy badge? Is kind of like, what, do you want a medal for that? I've tidied my room. Oh, what do you want? What do you want? A medal for that? Well done. Like, so a Chuffy badge, that's what that is? I've never heard that. I've never heard that.
I do want a Chuffy badge. Fancy a brew.
Brew,
The
yeah.
Manchester meaning is, do you want a nice cup of tea or coffee?
Yeah.
In the States, that is just beer. Brew.
Yeah, it's true. I saw a video the other day where an American went round to his girlfriend's in the UK, and apparently the girlfriend's dad said, do you want a brew? And he was like, oh, God, no, it's too early for that. And then realised later he'd been offered a cup of tea or like a hot drink, cup of coffee or something like that. But yeah, a brew, tea. It's more tea, I think, but I think it can be classed as coffee in these days.
Is beer and not interchangeable with anything else. Ooh, this is a tough one. Daft apith.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on this, to be honest. I wasn't sure. This was one that I was like, I think it means like silly Billy, idiot, goof. I think it means that, but I wasn't sure.
What do you do that for, you daft apith? The Manchester meaning is a fool.
Fool. Yeah.
So am I going to drop daft apith on somebody?
If you want to.
Yeah.
If someone's being a fool.
Kevin Owens is a daft apith. Buzzing.
Yeah,
I'm buzzing for this.
I use that one. Oh man, I'm buzzing. Yeah, buzzing.
Manchester meaning is extremely happy, not actually emitting a noise like a bee. It's just you're buzzing.
Buzzing?
Know? I feel like we could take that in the U.S. Bobbins. That is bobbins.
Not sure.
The Manchester meaning is not very good.
Not very good.
Bobbins, guys. Bobbins. Our Kid? Have you seen Our Kid?
Oasis, the band use this a lot. Our kids. Like, brother. I think it can mean sister as well.
The Manchester meaning, not to be confused with your child. This means your brother or sister.
Our kids.
Incredibly confusing. Incredibly confusing. That one's rough.
Well, I think it's because your brother is the kid, the child of your parents normally. So that's, have you seen Our Kids? Our Kids. Like, you'd say that's, I kind of feel like it came from that, is my understanding. But yeah, that's one that doesn't really get used, I don't think, outside of Manchester. So yeah, really interesting seeing Cody exploring those. Daft apith. not one that I've ever used in my life. In fact, most of those I've not used in my life, but some of them, a good chunk of them I've heard. So, JDS, thank you. Yeah, this one is fun. So, Shay, shout out to you. Sold my car to Santos Escobar. Just sold my car to Santos Escobar. Just sold my car to Santos Escobar. Ba, 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 ba. There's a song, right? Dance song. And very famous. And basically, there's a secondhand car company called We Buy Any Car. And their TV advert is just sold my car to We Buy Any Car. Just sold my car to We Buy Any Car. Just sold my car. For some reason, someone in the crowd started chanting, just sold my car to Santos Escobar. Just sold my car. So he would have no idea what was going on. Hence why I think he looked frustrated, confused, and just left the ring. I think he knew he was being disrespected, but he wasn't really being disrespected. So Mum was just having fun with the We Buy Any Car song. So there we go. That's what that was. So Shay, shout out to you. It's an advert you see all the time over here. Chelsea Green, yeah. Michael Cole, okay, Michael Cole and Lash Legend are on my poop list now.
Oh my God! God! Oh my God! Oh, get off me! I might vomit! Get off me! Oh my God!
In all fairness, Michael Cole acts that way around all women. So, no, it's because he's still selling the dumpster match from the other week. And they're making out that she still, like, really smells. So, that's why he was reacting the way he was reacting. But, very good. So, Isamar, I believe, tagged me in that. And then, this is so random. I've never seen this before. Apparently, Hogan, like 10 years ago, had some sort of hosting website for maybe podcasts or something. I'm not sure. But it was called Hostamania. And this is just... oh...
Brother.
John Laurinaitis has divorced Kathy Colace. So I believe that's Mama Bella. So we don't know when that happened. We don't know if it was as a result of the legal stuff that's gone down. I would imagine it is. But yeah, no date or anything, so we don't know as to when that occurred. Edward said, this is massive. They were part of Total Bellas. So yeah, there we go. Apparently they were a big part of Total Bellas. I've never seen Total Bellas, but they have got divorced, which will come to the surprise of nobody. Couple of thanks. So Ratchet the Owl, thank you, my friend. Looks like Ratchet's the only one in there, so that gives me a moment to say thank you to all of you. A very quiet news day today, where we've got stories that aren't even real stories, so it's given me some time to rant about them instead. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back with something a bit more juicy tomorrow. But yeah, the Brock news, easily the biggest news in the wrestling world today. And of course, that horrific news about Liam Payne as well, which I know isn't wrestling related, but at the time of recording this, that probably dropped about an hour or so ago, and just wow, just mind blown with that. That's definitely getting a lot of people talking. So obviously thoughts with his friends and family, and I will be back again tomorrow with another Unseen. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.